Parallelism and SIMD. This is the chapter that, for me at least, the whole reason why Mojo programming language exists. So let me tell you the story because it's exactly the problem this episode solves. I have built AI models that worked beautifully on a small scale. But then they fell over when I needed them to chew through petabytes of the data. The bottleneck wasn't my mathematics. It was not using all of the hardware right in front of me. So when people say make it faster in parallel, they usually mean one of the two distinct techniques. Mojo gives you both, and they stack. First, using SIMD, data parallelism. Apply one instruction to many values at once inside a single core. Second, multi-core. Use parallelism. Split works across the several cores your processor already has. For example, think of a warehouse. SIMD is one worker who has been handed a tool that grabs 8 boxes at once instead of one. Multi-core is hiring 8 workers. Combine them and you see why the speeds up get enormous. And here is something delightful. You are already doing SIMD without even trying. Every numeric type is a SIMD vector under the hood, and the built-in math operators use this automatically. To use it deliberately, you pack values into a vector and operate on the whole thing. Here, all 4 multiplication happen in a single instruction. 1 step, 4 results. How wide, if you think how wide a SIMD vector can be, that depends entirely on your hardware. And the nice thing about Mojo, you can just ask, import SIMD width of, and it tells you maybe 4, maybe 8, maybe 16 lanes. So on many machine, a register holds 16 float 32 values. So you can process 16 numbers per instruction. For the bulk numerical mathematics at the heart of AI, that's massive, almost free win. Now, packing values into vectors by hand gets tedious when you have a big array. The standards library's vectorize helper, it automates the entire thing for you. Now, don't worry about every token, focus on the shape. You write the logic for one SIMD sized chunk and vectorize strides through the whole array in the SIMD width steps for you. You can describe the work for a single chunk and vectorize applies it across the entire array efficiently, even handling any leftover elements at the end. Data parallelism, almost no bookkeeping. You will notice that inner function is written with a fn function and a parameter decorator, not the def. Def is something we have used in all series, but here you see the fn. That's one place fn earns its keep. Just recognize the pattern. Now the bigger hammer, spreading works across all your CPU cores with the standard library's parallelize function. It takes a piece of the work that runs for index 0 through n-1 and distribute those work items across your available cores on your machine. Each call here handles one row. It launches the work items as parallel tasks and waits for all of them to finish. On an 8-core machine, all 8 rows can be processed genuinely at the same time. But parallelism comes with one hazard you must respect. When multiple cores run at once, they must not write to the same memory location. Do that and you get a race condition, a bug where the result depends on the unpredictable timing of threads, wrong and impossible to reproduce. The safe and simple pattern is each work item writes only to its own slot. Work item I owns result at I and nothing else. And because work item I only ever touches results at I, no two cores ever fight over the same location. Structure your code this way and an entire category of nightmarish bugs simply cannot occur. And the famous demos that beat naive Python by thousands of times, they layer both. Each core handles a slice of the rows, and within each slice, the inner loop runs many columns at once with SIMD. Everything earlier in the series we have been building towards this. The model that worked in my notebook can now use the whole machine and the next machine and the GPU after that without me even rewriting any of the code. That's the bridge from research to production. You make real without ever leaving a Python-like language, and you are writing your system-level programming code made for AI mathematics. Now, in the final episode, we are going to survey the standard library that ties all of this all together.